Tēnā koutou te whanau o Aotearoa Unitarians. Tēnā koutou nā manahiri. No mai, haere mai ki tēnei hui. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you. My opening words are by Tess Bomberger. From the busyness of every day, we gather once a week to remember who we are, to dream of who we might become. As companions on this journey, we share the milestones we meet along the way. Individual moments and sorrows become shared moments of comfort and celebration. We share this journey across differences of belief and opinion because we value diversity and because we care for one another. Today, we take the next steps. Let us notice our fellow travelers, the burdens that they carry, the songs that they inspire. We travel this road together. As we gather in beloved community, let us open the holy havens of our hearts. Let us share the sacred places of our souls, for we are pilgrims who share a common path. Let us be on our way, willing to be authentic with each other, honest within ourselves, and open to connection in all its forms. And now it's time for us to light our virtual chalice. So if you have a candle or a chalice, let us light it. We kindle a flame we trust will lead us forward as we travel in unknown lands, where the question, shall I ever get there, resounds. A clear, pure note in every silence. I've changed the title of my musings for this week from what was in the newsletter, but it's still the same topic. The title is, Are We Still in Texas? Living on an archipelago at the bottom of the South Pacific, the human incarnation of the kiwi, a flightless bird, has evolved into an intrepid traveler, eager to fly everywhere and anywhere around the globe. To be suddenly grounded by a virus and having to spend all our time in what Trump labeled a hellhole has inspired our sense of humor to cope with our harsh conditions of incarceration. Check out hashtag New Zealand Hellhole on Twitter to take solace in the many ways to mock Trump with tongue firmly implanted in cheek examples of how awful it is to be so confined here. We laugh, but it goes against our basic nature not to travel, explore, learn, and expanding our understanding of being human on a fragile planet. It explains our resorting to Black humor. One of my favorites is a listing of airport codes you can travel to during the pandemic on Facebook. Instead of CDG for Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport, we have DNG for the dining room. Instead of LHR for London's Heathrow, we have BKY for the backyard. My personal favorite is MNC for man cave. Our present plight touched on a long forgotten memory of my very first journey. I was almost 4. We were traveling from Pensacola, Florida, to my grandparents' home in San Francisco in a new 1952 Chevy. We had christened Betsy. I was in the back seat with my 3-month-old sister. Mom was at the wheel, and Dad, recently released from the hospital after contracting polio, rode shotgun. The car didn't have a radio, but Dad would play the harmonica for our amusement. This was long before there were interstate highways that bypassed small town America. Most of the roads were just 2 lanes. It was a picturesque road trip, but it took a long time to get from one place to the next. At the age of almost 4, I had no concept of a map. All I knew was it took no time at all to go through Alabama and Mississippi, and not all that long to travel through Louisiana. But then we came to Texas. According to the parental version of the trip, I had an oft-repeated mantra. Are we still in Texas? Well into my adulthood, when I was enmeshed in a seemingly interminable journey, be it literal or metaphorical, they would ask me with way too much smirk for my liking if I was still in Texas. It is clear from my first journey that maps are useful. A map tells you where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. In a sense, it's 3 tenses in one. The first century Greek geographer and historian and philosopher Strabo thought they offered even more. Strabo synthesized his extensive travels into a study of geography, which drew from the arts, history, the natural sciences, mathematics, and myth, to direct our attention to the useful rather than to what is famous and charming. Maps for Strabo chart the art of life, that is, of happiness. One master of the art of life was Freya Stark. She lived until she was 100. She spent most of those years on a donkey, exploring southern Arabian deserts and Asia Minor, and writing 24 books recounting her journeys. She understood Strabo's view of exploring geography, writing, "To awaken quite alone in a strange town is one of the pleasantest sensations in the world. You are surrounded by adventure. You have no idea what is in store for you, but you will, if you are wise and know the art of travel, let yourself go on the stream of the unknown and accept whatever comes in the spirit of which the gods may offer." She also understood that the journey is both external and internal. Solitude, I reflected, is the one deep necessity of the human spirit, to which adequate recognition is never given. While I appreciate maps and consider Google Maps the greatest possible gift to those of us unwilling to ask for directions, that is, men, I appreciate even more those who created them. For as Jimmy Buffett observed, without geography, we are nowhere. Abel Tasman didn't have a map when he found the last blank nowhere spot on European maps of the world, us. He didn't know that 300 years earlier, Maori following the stars had already discovered us, but they didn't make maps. Granted, he wasn't looking for us, but rather a large landmass rumored to be in these parts, But thanks to him, we appeared on a printed map for the very first time in or at least a European map in 1646. No, it was not very accurate. But 130 years later, Captain Cook managed a remarkably accurate map of our coastline. Since then, it has taken generations of countless Kiwis to fill in that outline with their personal journeys defining our identity, history, unique perspective, and culture. Gilbert Grosvenor said it first: a map is the greatest of all epic poems. Its lines and colors show the realization of great dreams. But what happens to dreams when you are still in Texas without a map? When the destination is a blank spot during a pandemic? How do we dream? We know the present tense. We know the present tense. We are in Texas. We know the past tense, the dimming memory of unrestricted travel, hugs, unmasked smiles, secure work, going shopping without fear of bringing home something not on our list. What we don't know is the future tense, the place where dreams usually reside. Scientists are warning us that even if Trump's magical thinking comes up with an effective vaccine for COVID, the world has been made fragile by our carelessness. It has become a petri dish for the incubation of more alien viruses that will send us back to Texas. The reality for now and the unknown future is that Texas is the liminal place to which we are confined. All journeys are liminal. Instead of whinging about our present tense, like my 4-year-old self, it might be worth embracing where we are. I know that is difficult. We live in an age of instant knowledge, communication, travel, noodles, or at least we used to. Until recently, we were used to arriving at solutions, desires, and destinations quickly and efficiently. But there is a cost to forsaking winding 2-lane back roads with their one-way bridges following a rugged terrain for the motorway. We miss a lot of beautiful landscapes that, should we map our personal journeys, would be blank spots. If we use liminal time to explore them, we might discover it is also a place where our dreams reside. Let us be the Strabos, Starks, Tasmans, Cooks, and Maori of our generation. Having only the stars to guide us, let us make this difficult journey a time for map making. Who knows what we will discover about ourselves? Author Mark Jenkins observes that maps encourage boldness. They're like cryptic love letters. They make anything seem possible. Future generations may thank us. Okay, for our breakout, I hope I've inspired some conversation. And here's a question I would offer you. What have you learned about yourself during this journey through a pandemic? What blank spots have been filled in? It's now time for us to extinguish our candle or chalice. My chalice disappears on this. I'm sorry about that. But if you remember the words, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. For our closing words, let me offer these by Louis Van Leer. Having let go, set our intentions, named our curiosity, committed our energies, and given ourselves over to lives of balance, purpose, and meaning, let us begin again in love.